Welcome to Airbnb 101, sponsored by freelancecohost.com. We are the one and only pay-as-you-go co-hosting platform. Keep in mind that what you will hear in this video is not advice and is strictly shared for educational and fun purposes. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. The 5 basic things that I personally feel all Airbnbs need to have. Not want, but need. Now, the first thing, you're probably going to be like, well, of course she said that, but remember, this is a basic video. Hangers. You should have hangers in your closets. Every single closet should have a hanger. And I'm not talking about those plastic hangers, okay? You want people, you're competing with the hospitality industry in like 5-star hotels sometimes. So you need to be making sure that your guests, even if they feel at home, feel like they are in a luxury home as well. They're on vacation. You know, vacation comes with luxury. So you need, when they open stuff, there's an expectation that there's going to be something familiar there. And some guests will want to hang their clothes up. So you need to have hangers. And like I said, not just any hangers. You might want to look at some velvet hangers or wooden hangers. But there's no room for wire hangers. And there's no room for plastic hangers either. Unless no. If you're going to have, you might as well not have hangers if you're going to do that. But you should have hangers, and they should be high quality hangers that allow for your guests to feel like they are in a luxury experience, and also that you care about their needs. Okay. You don't want them to go there and be like, well, I could have just stayed at a hotel if they were going to have all of this stuff. Like, I stayed here because of the conveniences of being at a home away from home. So it's important that you just meet those basic standard requirements, like having hangers. Okay. The second thing is toiletries, and not just having toiletries, but having enough to sustain your guests for their trip. Now, some people like to say less is more, but I'm a more is more kind of person. And so I feel like you should have at least 1 toilet paper roll per day per bathroom. So if your guests are staying there for 4 days, every single bathroom should have at least 4 toilet paper rolls that are easy to access and that are seen. You don't want your guests to be not confused and not knowing where anything is. On top of that, you can also have those miniature bottles of like soap, shampoo, toothpaste, certain things you should just have, because those are things that people will need. Everyone's got like hand soap in the bathroom. What's worse than getting to a bathroom? You've been on the road or you've been traveling all day, and the first thing you want to do is just let loose and go to the bathroom. And you get to the bathroom, and 1, there's no toilet paper, and 2, there's no freaking hand soap. And there's nothing to wipe your dang on hands off with. So there's just basic things that you should have. Now, a bonus thing that you could do would be to have a cabinet, a concierge cabinet, where it's in a centralized location in the house. Depending on how big your house is, you might want to have one of these on every floor and mark them so it's very clear and obvious that this is your concierge cabinet. And in this cabinet, you can have toothpaste, additional items. You can have toothbrushes, deodorant, razors, anything that would typically they would call guest services and say, hey, can we have extra towels? You have razors down there? Do you have pads, tampons? Those things should be in your concierge cabinet. Okay. And that's a thing that will separate you from everyone else, because people need pads. People need tampons. Okay. The third thing that every house should have every Airbnb should have is a house manual / guide. People need to know how to get on the Wi-Fi. People need to know what to do with the trash. What are the rules in your house? How do things work? Do you have a special code, an alarm system? Those kind of things people should be aware of. They should just know. Is someone coming to clean the pool? Do you have an appliance repair? Because there's nothing worse than being on vacation in someone else's home and then some stranger pulls up in your driveway that you're not expecting. Because then it's like, all right, so these people are trying to kidnap me. And then something might happen. So if you have some kind of schedule where you know, okay, the pool man is coming at this time, those things are things people should know. Okay, because it's already like sketchy when you're already in someone else's home, but it's even worse if some random person is walking up the driveway while you're there. So the fourth thing every single Airbnb should have is cooking ware, not just cooking utensils like a basic set for when people cook, like the pots and pans, but also the seasonings, oil, salt, pepper, baking sheets, aluminum foil, Ziploc bags, all of those basic things that people have at their home that they use on the day-to-day basis, you should have in your house. Because what we have to also remember is people are creatures of habits. When people are used to certain things, you need to have that in your space. So you need to have coffee, you need to have tea. Even if it's not like the best quality or whatever, you need to have those basic things so that people don't feel like when they're coming to your space, they're uprooting their routine. Because what the competitive advantage of an Airbnb versus a traditional hotel space is that you get the whole home. It's like, it's a more private space, and ideally what you can do at your house, you should be able to do at your Airbnb. So you need to make sure that you have basic toiletry, basic cooking ware, utensils, and things to cook with and season with. Those are what you need to have. And another bonus is water. You need to have bottled water in the fridge and in the cabinet, and possibly in your concierge cabinet as well. Now, the last thing that every Airbnb, absolutely basic thing, needs to have, shameless plug first. This might seem like a long list, but if you need help with all these things, like, we can definitely help you. I love this kind of stuff. Okay. I don't know if you can tell, but I love it. So you can click the link in the bio for a description, for a free 25-minute consultation. Now, with that being said, the last thing on this list, the fifth thing, is that you need to have stuff for people to do. You need to have board games. You need to have outdoor games. You need to have things that people can do when they're at your house. It doesn't need to be video games because that stuff can get like stolen, but it like stuff that promotes quality time. You got to think, why do people go on vacation? It's to have time with friends, spend time with family. So the more things you can get people to do inside of your home and make them remember, oh, well, they did have this, they had everything I needed, the more likely they will be to recommend you to somebody else, and the more likely they'll become a repeat stay. Because people are wanting to travel and just stay and just do stuff. So the better experience someone has, the more likely you are to get that 5-star rating, number one. Number two, you can get a repeat customer. And number three, you can get referrals. And number four, you save money because it costs more money to get new customers and new guests than it does to retain the ones that you already have. Because they'll talk you all up. If you make someone's vacation experience a lovely experience, they will promote you. So you need to make sure that you give them things to do while in your house so that they can say, oh, well, even if it rained and their vacation time was ruined because they didn't get to leave the house, that they still had fun in your house. Because remember, weather is a thing. So something could happen while they're on vacation, and at least at a hotel, there's stuff for them to do. They can go to the arcade. They can go do this. They can go do that. You need to have stuff in your house so that if the people are not able to leave because something happens, that their whole vacation time or staycation time or whatever they're there for is not ruined because there's nothing to do in your home because it's boring. So you have to get into the mind of your guest and think about, what does my guest want to experience, and then go above that and know that you've satisfied them, at least to your best ability. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying to the end and watching our video. Please be sure to like this video, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you have a question or anything you'd like us to elaborate on, please leave that in the comments, and we'll see you next time for another Airbnb 101. Once again, this was brought to you by freelancecohost.com, the one and only pay-as-you-go co-hosting platform. Thanks.